Do you have 3 to 6 months of operating or overhead expenses saved in your business bank account? The most important part of every plan is planning on your plan, not going according to plan. You need a cushion of at least 3 to 6 months of overhead or operating expenses in your business bank account at all times. No matter what is going on, no matter which stage of business ownership you're in, this needs to be a staple. You never know what is going to happen. And if you're not there to continue generating income for the business, you still have to be able to cover expenses. Your overhead expenses are the ones that aren't tied to making a sale, so those vendors don't care what happened. They expect to be paid every month like usual. Now, the easiest scenario to point to is COVID. Once everything shut down, it was the business owners with at least 3 months of overhead in their bank accounts that were better positioned to ride out the shutdown and be able to come out on top. And others simply couldn't. Some business owners can't spend the money fast enough. And whether it's business or personal purchases, there is never any extra money in the bank account, ever. And those are the business owners that had to sit down and make some lifestyle changes once the shutdown started. Now, thankfully, there were government programs available to keep businesses afloat, but depending on the age of the business, the entity type, and the circumstances, some business owners didn't get nearly enough to help them through the entire time they were shut down. So you shouldn't get in the habit of assuming that someone will bail you out. And just the other week, a friend of mine who's a landscaper, he's the sole owner and operator of a single member LLC. And he's out there himself. He doesn't have a crew. So if he's not out there working, he's not invoicing clients and he's not making money. He was trimming bushes, fell off a ladder 6 feet up, broke his collarbone, hit his head, had a concussion, and can't work for 8 weeks at least. He didn't have workers' comp insurance because it's not required for an owner of a business, and he didn't have any kind of disability policy, so the insurance company can't help him at all. He has to pay another crew to cut his lawns just to keep the customers happy, so that he has customers to return to when he's allowed to work again. Now he's paying this other crew 100% of what he's making on those lawns. So he's not going to have any income for those 8 weeks. But he remembered quickly that his rent is still due, advertising, website costs, telephone, utilities, all those expenses still need to be paid. Now luckily he's a saver, so he'll be okay, but not everyone can be so lucky, and you just never know what's going to happen. Having the mentality to leave a healthy amount of funds in the business bank account is a smart approach because it will force you to be disciplined and not drain the bank account. It will allow you to operate without the fear of going hungry and the desperation of having to make a certain amount of money to cover the next rent payment or payroll run. Having a large sum of cash in the business will allow you to make a strategic move on short notice, should an opportunity arise for an investment. And that could be a piece of equipment or a building, a new revenue stream, or an expansion of some sort. Cash is still king, and having cash on hand allows the business to have the upper hand. If you found this video helpful, we're real accountants and CPAs who work with hundreds of small business owners just like you every day. Check us out at engagecpas.com to see if we're a good fit for your business. We also have business courses available to help small business owners understand their business. They're for you to learn about your financials, your taxes, how to pick the right entity, tax myths, and everything else about your business. Learn at your own pace. Check those courses out on the Education tab on our website. You can also find us on Instagram at Engage CPAs.